What's up, y'all? It's your boy Spazy64, and today I'm gonna show you guys how to make a warp pipe mechanic. Okay, so here are the devices that you're gonna need to make this type of mechanic. A trick tile, teleporter, a trigger, a mutator zone, a sequencer, and a player reference device. Okay, so to start things off, I'm just gonna lay down the foundation, put these grass tiles down, just to get a little bit of like a simple Mario type of level feel. Next, we're gonna put down the black tiles and wall, and this is basically gonna hold our mutator zone, and we want it to be in the air, and you'll soon understand why we wanna do this. So we'll go ahead and grab a mutator zone and plop that on top. Now, we actually wanna adjust this a little bit, so go ahead and pay attention to the settings here. We are going to allow weapon fire, that's fine. Building, no, it's honestly your preference. We're gonna lower the height down to 0.5, and I'll turn the VFX off. Okay, next thing we're gonna wanna do is grab our pipe, which is located in the Fortilla headquarters prefab gallery. So go ahead and grab this pipe that I'm selecting. Costs about 128 memory, and we're actually gonna resize this. This is just naturally how it looks, but try to get it to about this size, how I'm placing it down, because what we actually wanna do is see how I'm kind of poking out into the mutator zone, and now I'm actually outside of the mutator zone. That's what we're trying to accomplish here. So on player entering zone, we're gonna say 1, and on player leaving zone, we're gonna transmit to 2. Next thing we're gonna do is go to this player reference device, which is in the sequencer here. I already kind of got things a little bit preset up. So go ahead and grab this player reference device, and essentially this is going to help the teleporter recognize which player we actually want to teleport. So it's important to use player references instead of triggers so that the game knows who to teleport. Next, we're gonna register players when receiving from 1, the first setting on here. And then we're gonna start the sequence when receiving from 2. Next, you're gonna wanna grab a teleporter and put that on the second pipe, or quote unquote the destination pipe that you want the player to emerge out of, just like Super Mario Brothers. Now let's go back to the player reference and actually put in another setting. We are going to say when activated, transmit on 3, and then teleport to when receiving from 3. So essentially, that player reference, once it's activated, it's going to simultaneously teleport that player to that teleporter. Next thing you're gonna wanna grab are trick tiles, which will get rid of those black walls on game start. So all you gotta do is put trick tiles on the walls you don't want to be there, and put activate on game start to yes, and just do them for each trick tile that you do, and bam, when you start the game, those will be gone. Next, you're gonna wanna go in the settings menu, and on the start with pickaxe, put that to no, just so we feel a little bit more like Mario in this case. Now start the game, and as you'll notice, the trick tiles will get rid of the walls. We got our pipes, but the mutator zone is still there. Now, see how there's no player reference there yet? As soon as I jump on this pipe, my character will be at enough of a height to enter the mutator zone, which registers the player on that reference. Now, as soon as I exit the mutator zone by crouching, bam, it hits the reference, therefore teleporting me to the next pipe. It's that simple. You could do this as many times as you like, and I'm just gonna go ahead and run it back one more time so you guys can see. We enter the mutator zone, as soon as we duck and leave it, bam, the sequencer hits our reference character, and in that time, as soon as it hits it, it teleports us to the next pipe. But there is one more thing to know. Let's say you jump on the pipe, but you didn't actually want to go through the pipe. You said, nah, I think I'll just keep going. Uh-oh, we teleport anyways. Well, we don't want that to happen every time. So how do we prevent that from happening?
What am I supposed to do?
Well, the solution is actually simpler than you might think. We're gonna go ahead and grab this trusty trigger, and we're gonna have it standing up to where it faces the player. Basically, the purpose of this trigger is just to stop that sequence of teleporting the player out of this area every time they leave the mutator zone, because that's essentially how we have our mechanic set up. And so that trigger basically acts as an activation process that the player bumps into when they move forward. And when we hit that trigger, we want it to send a signal to clear the player when receiving from 4 on our player reference. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys visually how that looks with the mechanics. I enter the mutator zone, bam, we have our player reference. Now, as I go to hit the trigger, it gets rid of the player reference, so now the sequencer won't actually be able to hit our player reference, which would have teleported us. So now we don't teleport. Now, let's try this. Jump back on the pipe, we enter the mutator zone. I crouch, my player reference is still there, so I'm gonna teleport. So think about it this way, every time your player reference is there, when you enter it, it's going to teleport you, right? The that if you hit that trigger, it clears it, it won't teleport you. If your player reference is there, it'll teleport you. If it gets cleared, it doesn't know who to teleport. The game gets confused, you could say. And the last thing I'll do is add a speaker sound effect. I'll activate it when receiving from 3. 3 is our channel when we teleport, so you could just tie those things in together. They don't have to be on separate channels. I'll put the audio selection of flashback, which kind of sounds like teleporty, volume loud, whole island. This is totally personal preference. And we get that nice little like sound effect. And there you go, guys. That is how you do a warp pipe mechanic, just like Super Mario style. If you'd like to see more Mario style kind of mechanics like this, go ahead and hit the like button. If we hit 64 likes, I will happily make another video for you guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.